This is International Analytical News Agency. Welcome everybody. Today our economic analyst Benedikt Wagner and I, myself, will discuss a new dreamlike, but also very close future. There is much talk about technological revolution, but few understand how this can influence the economy and how exciting discoveries can change operations and pricing overnight. Today, we will speak about the potential for sharing, everything about creating new realities on the fly. How exactly does this work, Benedikt?
You know, it all starts with some very basic things. Let's say you live in central Hong Kong. You're a busy professional, so you clean your apartment once a week. Now you have a vacuum cleaner that stands in the corner of your 30 square meter flat. It takes up space. In practice, that's close to 1 square meter that you can't use for anything else. Okay. 1 square meter in central Hong Kong is about $50 a month. And of course, having a vacuum cleaner there, let's put it this way, it doesn't exactly improve upon the overall aesthetics. So basically, by not having the thing there, you save more than $50 a month. Mm-hmm. It's not such an expensive item, it would seem. So for $100, you can get quite a decent vacuum cleaner. But the real cost isn't $100, it's $50 a month or $600 a year, plus the vacuum cleaner itself. So suddenly renting becomes a great value proposition. A starter buys a high quality, industrial strength vacuum cleaner, let's say that's $300, and with a lifetime of 3 years, that's $100 a year. Even if you add another $250 per year on administrative cost and profit, you're looking at $350 per year. Or
Not
just
more?
No, just $1 that you need to recoup your for your costs per day.
Oh.
So let's say that out of the 24 hours of each day, your customers actually use the vacuum cleaner for 10 hours. So the rental price should be 10 cents per hour. Oh. If you pay 10 cents a week and you go on holiday for 2 or 3 weeks, you're paying about $5 a year. 50 weeks times 10 cents. That's certainly much cheaper than buying it and losing $600 a year.
Another reason why I believe this will happen is that people's tastes are changing unbelievably fast. For instance, in mobile phones, in cars, in clothes, everything is changing.
The technology is advancing so fast that sometimes it is advantageous to rent or to lease.
This change will bring with it greater choice and flexibility for consumers. No longer do people need to be tied down to one product that they buy and need to stick with. They can change something whenever they want or whenever personal circumstances change. And it also creates a sense of psychological and financial freedom as they create more flexibility in the choices they make. In Spain and in Europe, this is still a strange phenomenon. People are used to buying rather than renting, but the tendency to rent is getting stronger. For people, this is much more convenient, especially after the economic crisis. The businesses that are best prepared for that transformation can make enormous profits, and those who cannot adapt will face substantial problems. I think that for sales, blockchain technology will be very profitable as it allows one to register and trace everything.
В тех или иных товарах, а не пытаться просто традиционными способами анализировать рынок.
But how is the vacuum cleaner delivered, Benedikt? I think it would cost you several dollars to pay someone to get the vacuum cleaner from A to B, it within Hong Kong or any other leading metropolis.
That's absolutely right. So the cost of the vacuum cleaner hardly matters. The business model stands and falls with delivery, and of course with a convenient app to manage the process. But there is good news.
I'd like good news. Tell me, please.
Delivery is getting cheaper. I don't mean a bit cheaper, I mean a lot cheaper. Firstly, the drones and driverless vehicles will be fully automated. so there is no need to monitor and control them. That's the main cost in most cases. Secondly, you save money on equipment compared to today's price. That's because the manufacturing cost of those driverless vehicles and drones is also falling as they enter mass production.
Okay.
Thirdly, you save money on energy usage. We no longer need a driver's seat or a cockpit, so the delivery vehicles can be small. And a smaller vehicle needs less energy. AI, artificial intelligence, also determines the best routes for last mile delivery. Again, you need less energy. And finally, the energy itself is getting cheaper. The cost of alternative energy is falling and batteries are getting better.
And what about speed? What if my vacuum cleaner gets stuck in traffic on the way?
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, delivery is also getting faster. Firstly, driverless cars use the road more efficiently. Human reaction times for braking are about 2 seconds, studies find. Mostly because they are doing other things at the time. But even when the driver is concentrated and alert, half a second is needed for perception and 0.2 seconds are needed for movement. So that is releasing the accelerator and pressing the brake pedal.
0.3?
0.2. Driverless cars' reaction times are 0.3 seconds and below. That's for the entire process.
Okay.
And likely to go down further as the technology matures and the data is processed further. The upshot is that safety gaps can be smaller for driverless cars, gaps between the cars, and the efficiency of road usage increases massively as a result. In cities where all vehicles are driverless, lanes are no longer necessary.
Okay.
The outcome is something akin to an anthill where movements happen at high speed and great efficiency, but where sophisticated algorithms avoid collisions. This further decreases the probability of traffic jams and increases the speed of delivery. And then there are drones. A very large online retailer has already successfully trialed them as a method of delivering items. Of course, drones will be entirely unaffected by traffic jams because they're up in the air. Remarkably, that retailer has even submitted a patent application for Zeppelin warehouses floating above the Earth at an altitude of 14,000 meters to serve the drones and to deal with temporary peaks in demand.
Okay.
Obviously, in that configuration, traffic delays are a thing of the past.
Drone la vedrei in modo
For now, I have a negative view of drones. It's not that developed. There are not that many opportunities, especially in a city like Milan. Maybe in another place there are wider avenues and a better infrastructure.
ampi dove ci sono delle strutture proprio progettate per questo tipo di consegna, allora sarebbe una situazione diversa.
Ah, perché no? Sarebbe molto più bello, non hai il problema del postino che non suona.
And the drone with the item is already in your house. Life must be great when you don't even have to leave the house. To me, that's a fantastic idea. The drone brings things directly into the house.
Il drone entra dentro casa, che figata, no?
Big delivered, you don't have somebody to help you. On the face of it, a robot is more trustworthy than a human because they're going to follow their programming to the letter. But that being said, if they're programmed to just leave it in front of your door, a UPS driver, for instance, might assess the situation and see that you're not home, so they might tuck it behind a bush or something so that it's less likely to be stolen.
One needs to understand how the system is going to work and how expensive it actually is. Who is at fault if the package is lost? The French Postal Service? The drone pilot? The drone manufacturers?
If you lived on the 4th floor and your neighbor was accepting a fridge delivery by drone on the 5th, would you mind?
As long as it fits through the window, I don't care. If there is no damage, why would it matter how they delivered it? He can take off himself if he feels like it.
And a leading Silicon Valley entrepreneur has also been pursuing a project to decrease the cost of tunneling
Yes, we know it.
by a factor of 10 or more. So his idea is to build a tunnel network below the surface, which can be several levels deep, with almost unlimited theoretical capacity. Also, due to automation within the tunnel, maximum speeds can be far above acceptable speeds in human-driven traffic. So for all of those reasons, traffic jams may soon be a thing of the past, and delivery gets really, really fast.
Okay, but hold on. Why would you send the item to the other end of the city if it is available nearby?
As the model gets more popular, the availability of any type of item will become denser. So sooner or later, we're likely to get ultra-local sharing in the immediate vicinity, that is within one large apartment building, or a group of adjacent low-story buildings. You might even personally know the people you're sharing with, but you're still using technology to make the process fair, manageable, profitable, and transparent.
So, what's if I am out? Isn't this quite difficult to manage if you have a busy life, as most people have these days?
This is another issue that can easily be solved with existing technology. We have automatic locks and can issue permanent, conditional, or one-off access to the flat. We have AI security systems that can monitor what happens inside. So once all these processes have been properly perfected and standardized, it does no longer matter if you're at home or not, and there won't be any reason for worry. I'm not sure the market fully realizes just how huge the automatic lock and security market might become as a result.
The shopping experience goes down the drain. It's not shopping anymore. What's the point? So, what happens if the thing breaks? How do we know who is responsible? Maybe they'll deliver an already broken item to my place, and I'll ultimately be asked to replace it from my own funds.
Firstly, as an entrepreneur, you're more likely to buy sturdy equipment in anticipation of such problems. Secondly, you can insure the risk. And thirdly, self-diagnosing internet-enabled equipment is fast becoming the norm. It shows if the item is in working condition. If not, it tells you what is broken and sometimes can even fix it autonomously.
Of course.
Or tell the user how to fix it.
My phone always confirms that this is me. They can trust me. And today we say that we can build a legacy of trust. For instance, my salesperson in the shop always trusts me and I trust him. And he can sell me something on credit based on trust. Right now, this legacy of trust is going digital.
Surely that's not great for the manufacturer, thought.
It is a substantial risk. If 50 households use the same vacuum cleaner, rather than 50, you're clearly using fewer vacuum cleaners. Of course, they might sell models that are sturdier, and they might still break more often. They may be up to 5 times more expensive to ensure they work well and break rarely. But that's still 10 times less revenue, maybe 8 times less revenue, but it's a lot less revenue. So if the sharing economy succeeds, manufacturers will suffer. There's no doubt about that.
For manufacturers, this means an increased focus on quality and customer experience. Accenture's report on the switching economy suggests a $1.6 trillion market for consumers who no longer feel tied to a specific brand. The only way for manufacturers to keep consumers engaged is to invest in personalization, brand equity, and creating the best products in the market. Very clearly, we are reaching a tipping point in the impact capitalism, in the form of the traditional linear economy, is having on the environment. We believe that enabling a transition to a circular model is not only better for the environment, as the aggregation of product usage creates efficiencies in production and disposal, but better for consumers too.
What about the logistics market?
Well, it is a $11 billion market and radical change is ahead. It's not clear if the winners will be the existing delivery giants or some fresh startups that specialize in new forms of robotic delivery. There will be more deliveries, but also cheaper deliveries on the other hand. So this could lead to substantial shifts. New players might emerge and old players may diminish in stature. But in the end, the two factors might well balance out in terms of market size. So for example, there could be 3 times as many deliveries, but at the same time, they could be 3 times as cheap.
We are heading towards the idea of sharing, or rather we are returning to it. By the way, it isn't new or revolutionary, it existed before. When some product could not gain traction, such as the car, everyone started to go to work together in one car or live in one room. This is a very old idea in humanity, and now we can see that it is returning and expressing itself economically and financially, and also in the field of logistics. Without a doubt, there is a trend towards the sharing economy, and it's here to stay. I'm glad that new technologies are being applied. I also suspect that delivery costs will fall.
So, at the end of the day, these are not just comments about vacuum cleaners, right? We can apply this principle to almost anything.
Exactly. The same principles can be applied to most larger items that people don't use that much. Suits, designer clothes, designer sunglasses, large screens, bicycles, cars, expensive crockery, cutlery, lawnmowers, laptops, fans, power drills, additional chairs, tables, ice makers, disco balls if you want to have a party,
Everything.
robots of various kinds, even microwaves. There could be a market for almost anything. That's right, especially in larger cities.
Des voitures, des camions, des trottinettes.
These days in Paris you can rent any type of vehicle, music or even a bus where you can organize banquets. You can rent a wedding dress. In some places you can't rent friends, of course, that hasn't happened yet. You can rent a helicopter and go on a tour.
We buy whatever we need. It would be a pity if you needed to return it later. As for toys, 2 years ago my child was born. Toys are usually designed for the child's development at a particular age, and after that they get thrown away or are passed on to somebody else. We bring them to a special library for people that use them temporarily. It has lots of different toys. I pay 20 euros for the subscription and can get any kind of toys. So I save a huge amount of money, since one toy costs 5 to 10 euros.
Là, ça va développer certains trucs chez l'enfant, mais après, ces jouets-là, on fait quoi? Souvent, on les donne à d'autres, mais il y en a qui vont les jeter.
If we take a fridge, for example, you use that 24/7, so it's hard to rent it. But regarding jewelry, first and foremost, expensive jewelry, if someone wishes not to wear the same jewelry at 2 different events, of course, here one may mention investments into jewelry, but there is also another thing. Talking about watches, there is a difference between jewelry and watches for every day. Maybe they will wear 2 watches in rotation, or even 3.
È meno interessante perché l'utilizzo è più continuativo.
You won't even need washing machines anymore, because a robot can pick up your laundry, wash and dry it at a central facility, and return it right into your flat, right into your wardrobe even, ready to wear. The same thing goes for dishwashers. I mean, nobody needs a loom at home anymore because weaving has been industrialized. Why would you need a washing machine? So actually, in many cases, you don't even need to see the equipment in your flat. You don't even need to have it there. Robotic vacuum cleaners will come and go. Some processes can be performed outside your home even.
At the end of the day, I favor human labor, human resources. Many families need work, many have no occupation.
That's very practical. We no longer need anyone to do the dirty work for us. On the other hand, it's of course a question of technology over mankind. To add a bit of drama, will machines dominate the world sooner or later, as seen in Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey?
Kubricks 2001.
Postman kommt später.
Basically, I believe in drones more than I believe in humans. To me, it has often happened that the postman was late or didn't deliver my package directly into my home, into my hands. I believe the drones can do better than humans. I have a poor experience with the postman. With people. With people, yes.
In diesem Fall.
No. What else would my wife do all day? So I'd have to find her a job. Yeah.
So ultimately the system could be used to change the entire furniture in an hour or two while you're at work. You left one flat, you come back to a completely different flat. We are used to creating stunning virtual realities on a computer screen, but now we'll be increasingly able to put together entire physical realities from shared rented items anytime we want. Some of them will be custom made on 3D printers, where the customer even designs the product, pays for it, and takes on the risk, but then gets a share of future fees if it goes into common use. So everyone in the ecosystem can get creative and become an entrepreneur.
If I had some idea, I would rent it out.
To me, this is a fascinating prospect. Our life won't disappear into a virtual world. We'll still smell and touch the items around it, not just see them on a screen, with 3D glasses. We'll truly be in control of the world around us.
I thank everybody who has taken part in the program, all experts, all people who have helped in creating the project. On our website, IANA.tv.com, you can always find all your interviews, your opinions. We help you to share them or to play them on your page. Send an email to info@IANA.tv.com. If you feel that you have something to say or wish to share your take on the latest events, please send us an email or call us on +7 800 550 8993. Your call is free. And I, Yana Nazarova, wish you good fortune in all your endeavors, and I am waiting for you in your studio for your next IANA TV report.